Rose, Elizabeth, Judith Remington, take you, Sebastian Anthony Richard Longbottom III, to be my darling, no, lawful wedded husband. My love, my whole heart. If you had told me that the man I'd met in a bar on a first-class plane headed to the Maldives would be my soulmate, I would never have believed you. And now here, in the presence of God and our families, my mother, who probably hates you, your weird cousin who can't stop flirting with me, and my aunt, who cannot stand how much richer you are than her. Oh, I can't lie. It's very intimidating. Anyway, I give you my solemn vow to be your faithful partner in sickness and in health, in good times and in bad, in life as well as death. Oh, my Sebi, I cannot wait to spend the rest of my life with you, and of course our mildly strange families to become one.
Ha 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 ha. I'd say that mildly is putting it rather nicely, wouldn't you?
Sebastian, and you were the one who insisted it was bad luck for the groom to see the bride before the wedding.
Oh, I think we can leave all of that behind for just a moment. Whilst I take a look at you, may I? Oh, my sweet love, aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
If by that you mean to imply that your family will be happy to see you and I before the vicar, I'll happily accept the compliment.
Well, I mean, they better. I mean, can you believe it? I mean, all this preparation and we're finally here. We finally made it. It certainly took its time, didn't it? Huh.
Darling.
My flower?
Our families, they will come around, right? I mean, they have to.
I mean, I don't know why they shouldn't. I mean, surely they will do eventually. You know what they say, the world is our lobster, after all.
Oyster, darling.
Oh, yeah. Oyster, jellyfish, crab.
Shark, whale.
Nah, but I do mean it. I really mean it, darling. Besides, once they get a look at you in that dress, there'll be no going back.
I suppose you're quite right.
Oh, come now, darling. I mean, is everything not as you hoped for? But, oh God. It's not me, is it? Oh, dear God, maybe it is bad luck for the groom to see the bride before the wedding. Oh, damn.
No, darling, it's not that. It's just our families. Who really are they to us? Some people that resent each other, who make themselves miserable in all of this well. Do they really need to be there on the most important day of our lives? And I know we've spoken about this before, and I know you said it's ridiculous, but what if we left right now, right this second? We could slip around the back and no one would even notice.
And where would we go exactly? I mean, you know this. We've talked about this before, honey. There isn't anywhere in this world that we could go that I am not known, right? That I am not known, that my name is not known. Both a blessing and a curse. But if we leave now, then it's forever. Do you get that? Do you understand?
I suppose I was just getting ahead of myself.
Oh, no, darling, come here. I'm sorry. And hey, you know what? Once all this is over, we're under no moral obligation to ever see any of them ever again.
You sold me on that one. God, what I would do to never see my aunt again. That old bat will already not let me forget how much I've already ruined our family's fortune just by marrying you.
That's the spirit. And you know what? Hopefully she won't be a burden for that that much longer.
Sebi, is everything okay?
Yeah, fine. I just had this tickly cough since the rehearsal dinner last night.
Well, by all means, don't give it to me.
Wow. I'll certainly give you something later tonight.
I'll just leave it to my imagination then.
Yes, you do that, darling. You do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? In a few moments' time, we'll begin the ceremony. And please, may I ask that all mobile and other electric devices be switched off as to not be disturbed? That includes tablets, smartwatches, and devices on which self-portraits may be taken.
Jessica?
Madame? Now we may proceed.
Where's the other one?
I beg your pardon, madame.
This is not usually the man we see at church. Where's Mr. Gold?
Please, Aunt Darcy, don't be so rude.
Rest assured, madame, I will be gone in half an hour. Mr. Gold sends his well wishes.
The other one must be off sick. Darling, what's wrong?
Is it just me, or does this man not look vaguely familiar to you at all?
Well, you know, these blood figures are all the same.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to witness the union of Flora, Rose, Elizabeth, Judith Remington, and Sebastian, Anthony, Richard. Jesus Christ, how many middle names does one person need? Maximus Longbottom III. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong.
Yeah, sure.
Girl.
Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails.
Amen. Amen.
Alter! Shut up!
Yes, well, before we begin the vows, I am first required to ask, should there be anyone present who knows a reason why this person may not lawfully marry? Speak now, or forever hold your peace.
Excuse me, I just have one thing to say. Sebastian is getting late tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Can we give him a hand? Alter, please.
Well, if there are no further objections, let us commence with the vows.
What's going on?
What the hell's going on?
Oh?
Can you hear me?
No need to worry, my friend. The backup generator will be on soon. Until then, please.
What was that?
What just happened?
Does this mean we can go now?
Why fight
Wi-Fi gone.
Darling, what on earth was that?
Everyone, please remain calm.
Calm? Someone just fired a gun, you bloody fool!
Never mind that. Where has Flora gone?
Never mind that. Look.
Playing a trick on us.
It's not really a funny one.
Seb, quick. Blink twice if you're in trouble. Wait, I've got it. Oi, Seb. Flora's found a new man. He's going to take all your money. Seb? Shit.
Wait, what the bleeding hell was all that noise?
Sebastian is dead, madam.
Who?
I'm sure your families have already explained to you what's going on.
You think we have something to do with killing Sebastian?
Well, not exactly.
Wait, you think we had something to do with it, don't you?
You think we're the murderers and you want us arrested?
Wait, are we going to prison?
Jessica, we've been discovered. It's all tits up from here.
Am I going to have to wear nylon? You know how much I hate wearing nylon. It makes my skin look all flushed out.
That's if they don't give you the scraps first.
Scraps? With this hair? I swear to you, detective, we didn't do anything, I promise. Please don't make me go to prison. They'll take away my phone and my followers.
No one is going to prison.
Oh, thank God.
We don't know that yet.
I can't rule anything out until I speak to everyone, but until then, miss, you're going to be fine.
Listen, detective, Mr. Sharpe, me and Jessica, we're just a bunch of kids. We didn't do shit. Full stop. We just got caught up in this sick, twisted affair.
You seem to have an awful lot to say for someone who's claiming innocence.
Yeah? Well, yeah, why do you ask?
I just think it's surprising when I haven't even questioned you yet. Nervous, I suppose.
All right, I'm nervous. What's it to you?
And what reason would you have to be nervous? Unless, of course, the discovery of your cousin's body has left you shocked. Then again, it didn't seem that way when you were riling up Jessica just now.
Well, I have nothing to hide from you, detective.
All right, then. I'll start with you, whilst we wait for Mr. Longbottom here to collect himself. How was your relationship with the groom?
What, Sebastian? I mean, it wasn't much, really. My sister's fiance, we all knew who he was. I mean, God, who wouldn't? When you inherit your entire parents' billionaire fortune, you can pretty much do anything you want. You can become anything you want. And Sebastian, he was a lot of things. Powerful, to say the least. And Flora seemed keen on him. But we didn't really talk much during last night's rehearsal dinner. The last time I properly talked to him was probably...
When, miss?
Just a few days ago. It was nothing really. Just, silly little squabble.
And did you ever resolve said squabble?
I mean, I was hoping to, maybe after the wedding, but obviously,
He decided to check out early.
And the argument?
What about it?
You said so yourself. It was a silly little thing you had.
Mm-hmm.
Just nothing at all? No cause for concern? Nothing worth mentioning?
Absolutely not.
And nothing to do with a certain embezzlement scheme, I suppose.
How did you even know?
Because I researched you, Miss Remington, as I did all of you.
Oh, and how does a stupid little Google search prove anything?
You forget that I'm a detective, and I knew already of your relationship with Sebastian Longbottom. You'd been embezzling money from his joint bank account with your sister for the past year.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're using it to fund your phone, your fancy clothes, even down to your trips.
I would never.
Particularly a trip to Botswana, as you constantly mention. Tell me, Miss Remington, what reason would you have had to have gone on a Christian mission trip if, as your Facebook page states, you are secular? If not for what every one of these influences goes for, to feed your white savior complex and egotistical social media obsession.
Okay, you have no right.
Supposedly Sebastian found out about it and threatened to take you and your family to court. Your family are infamous for trying to keep their records clean, after all.
Okay, look, Sebastian should have never given me the rights to that account in the first place. He let me get one thing, and it was like, well, he has all this money, and I know my Aunt Darcy won't give me anything because obviously Flora's a favorite, right? And I just thought he wouldn't notice, but then apparently he did, and then he started making all these threats, and look, I just wanted to be like my friends, okay? That's all. Do you know how embarrassing it is to not be in control of your own money? I just wanted to be liked, and who wouldn't? But I swear to you, detective, I would never do such a thing to him. Never. He didn't deserve what happened to him, even if...
I'm sorry. Truly, I'm sorry. I just can't believe that a Remington of all people could get into trouble.
Oh, and you think you're so perfect?
Listen, Sharpe, let me let you in on a not so secret. I did time, all right? I have nothing to hide. I, the great Walter Stanley Jasmine Stanley Walter Longbottom, went to prison.
I know. Served 15 months in a juvenile detention centre for theft.
I did.
You seem almost proud.
For what I stole, who wouldn't be?
I suppose you also know the full details of his theft, detective?
A 15-carat necklace from Tiffany's.
But do you know the real story?
Detective, don't pay any attention to her. It's clearly all that dry shampoo getting to her brain.
Oh, so I get to be humiliated for all my crimes and you don't?
What are you talking about?
Sebastian told us all about it last night.
You what?
Believe me, detective, you're going to want to hear this. Walter went to prison because he tried to pawn off some jewelry.
I'm assuming this is the necklace from Tiffany's.
Even worse, from a nearby house.
A necklace from Tiffany's from a nearby house.
No. Forget about the Tiffany's. This was just some stupid necklace from a random house.
I mean, it's not the worst crime ever committed.
Yes, but it gets even more embarrassing.
Jessica, I swear to God.
Or what? Are you going to kill me? The same way as Sebastian, perhaps?
Everyone, please calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. Ask him to calm down. At least I didn't get caught for the most stupid crime to ever exist.
Look, how was I supposed to know that the woman who owned the house was the same woman who owned the pawn shop.
Look, you would have known if you weren't so stupid, Walter. And the best part is that the woman recognized the jewelry and called the police on him herself. Really is such a sad tale, isn't it, Detective?
Seriously?
What? I thought you'd be happy. I didn't get away with it.
I've met amateurs who could do that in their sleep.
Well, then, you haven't met Walter. Oh, and did you know that Sebastian was the one who bailed him out? He even paid an editor to rewrite the whole story because he felt so sorry for him. Too bad that didn't stop him from telling everyone last night.
But he promised. He promised he wouldn't tell.
And would that anger you, Mr. Longbottom? Angry enough to want to end his life, perhaps?
No. Look, I made a mistake and Sebastian broke a promise. But listen to yourselves. If I can't pull off the easiest of crimes, then it should be obvious. It wasn't me.
God, you're insufferable.
Like you're any better, you and that family of yours think you're all that with your aunt and your millions and your mansion. You look down on the world and expect them to look back up at you. But secretly, you're just like me.
Oh, please. I am nothing like you.
Oh, is that a fact? Oh, look at me. I'm Jessica. Look at my shiny iPhone. Actually, my daddy got me all 6 colors because my family don't trust me enough to look after my own money.
Right, that's enough.
What is the meaning of this? You're supposed to be questioning them, not getting them into hysterics.
Father, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Madame, I was only meant to be here for half an hour. And just...
Walter, what's the matter? You're flushed.
Don't pretend like none of you knew what Sebastian told you last night.
Detective, we've been very patient with you and you decide to upset our children.
It wasn't with any ill intent, madam.
Oh, please, no, Detective, go in with as much intent as you want. These spoiled brats deserve it.
Well, since you're all here, I may as well address the whole group. I might have only been here for a short period of time, but I know very well that you all have secrets.
Oh, please.
And this time I'll start with you, Aunt Darcy. It doesn't take a genius to realise you weren't particularly fond of Sebastian Longbottom.
Fond. How can I be fond of a man like him? Insolent in his demeanour? Unworthy of his estate?
Unworthy? He was the sole heir to his parents' fortune, was he not?
Well, yeah, I suppose, but...
And were you not the heir of your father's estate when he passed?
Well, that's different. It is.
I suppose it's not really a case of being worthy. Sounds more like jealousy to me.
Well, Detective, you should know Sebastian Longbottom's parents already had their wealth handed on a silver spoon. I mean, all he had to do was inherit it. My father, my hardworking father, made his earnings from the publishing company that he built from the ground up. Lord knows Sebastian Longbottom never had to work hard for anything.
You've always been jealous of him, and that's a fact.
Oh, you knew how powerful your nephew was. You never saw that as a threat. I find that very hard to believe.
Well, I work hard for my family, and at least I know the concept of hard work.
Hard work. The very man who sells used car parts on the dark web to fund his gambling trips. Talk about humble.
Oh, you bloody little.
This is all music to my ears. I don't know about you.
You leave my husband alone. At least he tries to work for his own money.
Oh, really, mother? Tell me again. Who was it that gained a loan from Sebastian's fund for her skincare treatments? A mere £100,000 doesn't mean anything to you?
That was a mere friend from Sebastian. It's not like I continue to ask for money.
Oh, yes. But don't you recall asking once again when the reviews for your face mask came in, reports of damaged skin and overpriced products and wannabe Gwyneth Paltrow.
It could be a great business if Sebastian wasn't so selfish. Why did he even need a big one for?
I'm sorry.
And you think this is funny, surely. You never taken from that Darcy of yours?
Well, why should I? You forget she's my sister-in-law and my husband, also gained from his father's inheritance. There was no need to ask her for money.
And I suppose you've never done a bad thing in your life, Lady Remington.
Oh, please. I would never. There's not a single bad bone in my body.
Yes, but didn't you also start recruiting people for a loitering pyramid scheme?
I started selling clothes online for empowered young ladies to buy. And yes, I may have reached to smaller influencers that needed to grow their platforms. Was that so wrong?
But you reached out to these young girls to buy your products. You promised payments if they sold your products for you, and then they would recruit other young ladies to do the same. Then they couldn't make any profit. And how could they if all the items they were getting were faulty?
I don't even know what a pyramid is, and I'll have you know, all my products, they were all made in a very sustainable factory.
Where the workers were all earning less than minimum wage.
Well, all tried, aren't we? It didn't work after a while, so I tried to get Flora to ask her doting fiance for help, but even he was too stubborn about it.
I guess we really are the same after all.
Scandal like this, Lady Remington, and it was never put in the papers.
Well, as you might have guessed, the oh so untouchable Sebastian Longbottom promised to keep all of this hidden, and I tried to make something of myself, and when I was stuck, he kindly offered to help, but it seemed like he rejoiced in holding on mistakes over her head and letting them drop whenever he wanted to.
I think you've already done enough, Detective. It's time to go.
But sir, I haven't even gotten to you yet.
No. Let's hear it. It's not fair that we and your daughter have been embarrassed enough tonight. Look, the matter of fact is, my nephew was very powerful, and he knew that. Darcy was jealous of his wealth, your daughter was embezzling from him, my wife and I have had our fair share of controversy. My son made a mistake. He promised to keep it all hidden, and then last night he started blabbling and getting cocky, so he was going to tell the press everything and act as if we had stolen from him.
But surely exposing his own family would also bring down himself.
Like he would ever consider us family. It seems like all the mistakes we made were just too difficult for him to bear. He had his money and no one could take that from him. He could disappear and become like a completely different person if he wanted to.
Well, he is your nephew and you are your family after all.
And Jessica and Lady Remington are your family, Lord Remington.
My family are imperfect, sure, but we all learn from our mistakes. Come on now.
And I assume you've learned from yours?
My husband
also has a secret of his own.
And what secret is that exactly? The cheek of this man.
You know.
No. What? Shit.
Darling?
He's trying to wind us up. Take no notice of him.
It's only fair, seeing as everyone here has had to reveal themselves.
Reveal what? Sir?
He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I really must get going, Detective. Right now.
Wait,
What's happening?
is this about...
Jessica, don't.
Your brother? Yes.
Detective?
You recall that, don't you, madam? Your stepson, who was involved in a hit and run 12 years ago. Lord Remington, so deep into your reputation that you paid off a foster home to look after him so you couldn't bear to look at him. You saw every mistake, every bad decision you ever made in him, and you seemingly forgot he existed. Or rather, you didn't. You just got better at hiding the pain.
My word, Lord Remington.
I don't believe it.
Felix Alexander Remington. That was his name, wasn't it? Or has it been that long? No defence, no protesting it. Supposedly, Sebastian knew and threatened to expose it all at a certain dinner last night.
He...
That's enough. Show's over. Everybody out. Detective, thank you very much for all your hard work. Yes, we're awful people and we've done some terrible things, but you've already embarrassed us enough. Now, please, get off our property.
Oh, thank heavens.
I do believe that's Aunt Darcy's call to make.
Have mercy on our family, will you?
Mother?
You think you're all that with your experience and your job?
Mother!
Well, you can take that experience and shove it right up
Aunt Darcy is dead!
Us! What?
She's probably pretending again.
But she's not breathing.
She does that too.
But she's not moving.
A double murder?
Sir, does this mean I have to stay?
Oh, that's enough of that. She's not dead. She always does this. She hates everyone and anything and will do almost anything in her power if it means getting out of a situation like this. Now, will the lot of you...
I'm here, it's okay. I'm safe.
At last, we might finally be getting some answers.
Don't be sure that for all we know, the detective could be toying with us again.
That detective has already caused enough trouble as it is. Upset children the way he did. And my husband.
I wouldn't be so surprised. A secret like that is enough to break anyone.
My husband is perfectly sane, thank you very much. Maybe it's your son that needs checking upon.
I have never felt any better. Hey, just say, how was Botswana?
Detective, it's been a long day. Could we try and wrap this up, please?
I'm getting to it, sir.
So, you know who did it?
Oh, we know why they did it, madam.
Martha, what's the meaning of this? Are you some kind of detective now?
Martha and Smithers have been of great help to me, unlike the rest of you.
Detective, I really have no desire to stay.
Oh, and for what reason, sir? The funeral of Mrs. Fenton is over. Surely there's no pressure for you to leave right now.
Well, in case you've forgotten, but the past 24 hours, 2 people are dead.
Oh, tell us something we don't know.
But that's the problem, Matt. There's so much about this that we just don't know, because any one of you could have murdered Sebastian. Picture it. Jessica and Walter, the 2 naive children who put their good faith into Sebastian, only for him to dupe them. Lord and Lady Longbottom, the aunt and uncle who couldn't hide their jealousy over his inherited wealth. Lady Remington, who knew someone like Sebastian would bring down the Remingtons. Don't even get me started on what Lord Remington would have done had his little secret been exposed to the press. All interesting motives, and yet I know for a fact that it was none of you.
I'm figuring it out.
Leave?
Not exactly. You see, I was close to something. Then Darcy's sudden demise threw me right off the trail. Now, she was a very unpleasant human being, no doubt about it. For what reason would any of you have had to murder her? I mean, really, the Longbottoms wouldn't have gained anything about it, and her own family wouldn't have been able to gain anything out of it either if she was so hell-bent on keeping her wealth intact. But then I realised I left one person out of the equation.
I figured it out.
Boys, put your hand down.
No. Yeah. figured it out. It was Flora. It is the only possible explanation.
Don't be so absurd.
He's absolutely right.
Yes! Come on! Ah!
Last detective?
Because I truly believe that as the bride, you should be the star of the show.
Excuse me?
It's quite simple, really. How else could Sebastian have known about everyone's secrets?
It's quite simple, really. He was my fiance, of course. I mean, we trusted each other. I told him everything.
But you weren't exactly too big on details when I asked of your relationship.
I was in shock. In case you'd forgotten, my fiance died tonight.
Maybe. Let's go back to Darcy for a moment. It was clear that she wasn't so keen on any of you, but Jessica mentioned earlier how Flora was always her favourite. She was set to inherit all of Darcy's wealth, with not a single penny going to the rest of the family. So what reason would there have been to kill her?
You see, Darcy threatened to cut Miss Flora from the will if she were to ever marry Sebastian. She told me everything. She was to change the will once the reception was over. I should have known. If I had, maybe she would.
It wasn't your fault, Martha. You did what you could.
Are you all hearing yourselves right now? Martha, you've clearly seen too many little detective shows instead of actually doing your job. Come on, Darcy just died suddenly.
And it's strange, isn't it? But then I realised if whoever murdered Sebastian used poison, they most likely used the same method on Darcy. Got the toxicology report back. 10 grams of rat poison was found in Sebastian's drink last night. They even put it in the cup he drank from. A small dosage, but it's enough, even more so with his asthma.
But then how come Aunt Darcy wasn't affected as quickly? She wasn't even coughing.
Aunt Darcy was a fairly healthy woman, but even she was complaining about chest problems earlier today. The poison must have just gotten to her more slowly.
Fine, they were both poisoned, but how does that explain everything else?
Well, the murderer probably realized Darcy was succumbing to the poison, and during lights out, they used the opportunity to finish the job. They strangled Sebastian whilst he was struggling to breathe. Killed him, then they used the gun to fire at Darcy. An amateur move, in my opinion, trying to shoot in the dark. Of course they missed.
And you somehow think that Flora was behind all of this?
Well, of course not, madam. We merely believe she orchestrated the whole thing.
You see, Flora had a motive to murder Darcy, kill her before she could change her will. Classic move. Lord Remington, since the only people who knew where the generator was were your family, it only makes sense that Flora could have been behind it.
Well, it's very possible to set an interval on the generator for when it turns on and off again. But it still doesn't make sense. Flora and Sebastian hadn't even legally wed yet. If she was behind the murder, why would she kill him before they were officially married?
That's what I thought too. Under the law, an unmarried partner has no right to inherit anything, unless their deceased partner has stated it in their will. Given Sebastian's hatred for his own family, it'd be no surprise if he'd left everything to Flora. At that point, it wouldn't matter whether they were married or not. She'd have everything regardless.
So she used the wedding as a ploy to frame the rest of us for the murders.
Precisely, seeing as you all would have had a reason to murder Sebastian. That being said, she couldn't have acted alone.
And if Sebastian Longbottom had as many enemies as he did, anyone could have helped her. But we have reason to believe it wasn't anyone outside the family.
But you just said it wasn't any of us.
Not anyone in your family.
I beg your pardon?
Felix Alexander Remington, you can come out now.
What?
I believe she means Daniel Raven, sir.
Who?
Well, the vicar, of course.
What now?
I personally think it's clever the way you did it. Been 12 years. I mean, nobody would have recognized you.
I have no idea what you're talking
Of
about.
course, a man playing with the role of a vicar would use a religious name. Daniel, Hebrew for God is my judge. Ironic, isn't it?
Did you also know the name Remington stems from English origin, meaning from the raven? I would know. I only worked with Darcy for 2 decades.
I am a religious man. How dare you accuse me of such a thing? Flora, you tell them.
I did tell you it was a stupid name, Felix, but as always, you never listen to a word I say.
Who's Felix? I don't know Felix. I've never known any Felixes, ever.
Fine, just give it up, right? We did it. Are you all happy now?
Flora, I swear to God.
What are you going to do? Kill her?
Yeah, kill me, Felix. It's not like I've been helping you out for the past 12 years.
I thought I recognized you.
Well, hello to you too, Father. Losing your hair already.
I can see the resemblance to Darcy.
You and that butler really are something. Trying to bait me out in the woods. Was a shame. I thought I portrayed the Saint Vicar perfectly.
Felix, how could you?
Oh, how could I plan my revenge on the people who cast me out when I needed them the most? Shame on me, of course. Flora was the only one who seemed to care, so it's no surprise I agreed to help her with a plan. Teach you all a lesson or two about family. Plan. If it wasn't for you two meddling servants.
Well, Flora hid the weapon, and that's why she ran. That scream, it wasn't because she was scared. It was a fake to make us all believe she was scared.
You kept going to check where the gun was. Can't say she did a great job of hiding it.
Speaking of, it's very surprising that you just admit this all now.
Well, we already have Sebastian's money, and Darcy's. We're just looking to make our exit.
I mean, seriously, you expect me to believe like somebody like Sebastian can be loved? Oh, I tried, I really did. But then he learnt of Felix and he knew the weight that would hold over me. I was hoping that giving him the secrets of our dear little family would keep him occupied, but clearly that wasn't enough.
No! You just didn't love him enough. He was special. He was special, and you took him from us.
Oh, Walter.
Flora,
I don't believe it.
My God.
What is it, sir?
This just gets better and better.
Detective!
Sebastian, he didn't leave anything for Flora in the will.
What?
Are you laughing?
I am so drunk right now.
The finance office called me back. Apparently, Sebastian's left everything to Smithers.
What?
You're a billionaire, Smithers. Congrats. Seems like the sorry bastard had a heart after all.
I'm gonna be sick.
But that's not all. Darcy changed her will today. This morning, actually.
Quickly.
Detective, wouldn't it be hilarious if she gave all the money to Martha?
Yes, it would, because that's exactly what she did. Either she really hated Flora, or she clearly loved you enough to give it you all.
But I'm not even family.
You are. You always were to her.
You knew!
Even if she did, there's nothing you can do about it now. This really is the best case I've ever worked on. If I only had my camera.
And you think my family are going to rat me out just like that? I could go to the police with everything they've done, And as long as I have that, they'll never tell anyone.
Actually, I'm sorry I'm just saying this now, but like, basically, I was just telling my friend from Latin, Bethany Worthington, about Aunt Darcy, and then a while ago, we were just doing this live stream on Instagram because we were going to the Amazon rainforest for another trip. And then when the detective called us all in, I may have kind of forgotten to turn it off. So basically, the live stream's been going on the whole time, and I think you just confessed to 12,000 followers.
Well, if that's the case, oops.
Smithers? Darling, can you hear me?
It's like you're supposed to be arrested for 3 murders.
It's 2 murdered and 1 attempted, actually.
Oh, darling. Oh, you're alive.
Yes, but now I had the most awful concussion.
I replaced the bullets, Miss Flora. Lovely seeing what blanks can do.
How did you even...
I'm a detective. It's my job. Ah, and look, the police are outside, just in the nick of time.
Flora and Felix Remington, I hereby place you under arrest. Anything you can say and will be used against you in the court of law.
Sorry, but where the hell have you been all of this time?
You realize there's been 2 murders tonight?
I know, isn't it just so exciting? And the thrill of murder mysteries, they're my favorite. And Darcy Remington death, I mean, Sebastian Longbottom I see, but I just never saw it coming. As with old lady like her, I'm very, very sorry for your loss, sir. Anyways, better bit off. I'm just so excited for everyone at the station to find out about this.
Any last words, Miss Flora?
You really are some detective, aren't you?
And to that, I'll happily drink you.
Hey!
Smithers, are you all right?
I don't know, detective. I don't know if it's a fault or the fact that I'm a billionaire now. I have the worst headache.
A nice walk in the woods might do the trick. Maybe a breather too. I'm sure Felix had some cigars lying around.
Detective, is it true? Did Darcy really...
What are we going to do now? The Longbottons, they need me, right? Sebastian would never forgive me for leaving them.
Yeah, and Darcy would want me to help her family out and, clean up their past mistakes and make sure nothing gets out.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Although there are a few charities I've been trying to raise money for.
Come to think of it, there is a Prada handbag or 2 that I've had my eye on for ages.
Even a trip to America sounds tempting.
Perhaps we can create our own rendition of Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, we definitely could. My house needs a little bit of work too.
Detective, we should help these people, right?
Good people. I'm sure you'll make the right choice. In the meantime, perhaps a wedding for the 2 of you is in the books. Invite me, of course. Oh, but please, no more murders, I'm begging you. They'll ruin the whole thing. And hey, I guess after this you could say that love truly was in the airs. That was disgusting. Anyway, farewell to you both, and you both a good night.
So what do you say, Martha? Will you marry me?
Yes, of course, yes.
Wait, we should probably tell him to not go through those woods, right?
Yeah, we could. Or we could just let him have his moment.
Yeah, we could definitely. You're glad we didn't hide behind those trees.
Oh, be quiet, you.